Over the last few years, there have been more and more animal movies, but most of them seem to be about dogs. With all these films, I'm shocked that more people haven't brought up the 1990 NBC pilot called Poochinski. I vaguely remember it. I might have watched it at the time because the name sounded like it was vaguely Polish, and I was living in Hamtramck, Michigan at the time. Anyway, it stars Pierre Doyle of Young Frankenstein and Everybody Loves Raymond fame as the titular character. He's an old schlub of a cop who one day gets killed and his consciousness is put into a bulldog. In the pilot, he has to convince his old partner to team up with him to find his killer. This seems similar to the setup for Detective Pikachu. How dare NBC steal a part of a concept from a movie 29 years into the future? And yes, I know that the game came out a few years ago. The episode begins with Poochinski awkwardly flirting with the new dispatcher.
How do you know who I am?
I read all about you on the bathroom wall.
After he gets to the crime scene and his partner shows his disdain for him, he then decides to play a little game with some kids who are beating up a dog.
I lost my head, you know. When you get to be my age, you forget things, like whether or not this gun is loaded. Well, there's only one way to find out.
This guy's crazy. Come on!
Those kids go off easy. They're lucky that Lucy from Elfin Lied wasn't there. Later on, another cop rags on Poochinski, who's making out with his new buddy.
Hey, Poochinski, finally found someone to kiss you?
Hey, Schreiber, don't let the word get around. I wouldn't want anyone to think I've been unfaithful to your wife.
While this is happening, Pooch's partner is trying to get a transfer out of the precinct because of Pooch's behavior. Couldn't he just request a change of a new partner? Does he hate him that much? The captain denies this because of plot, but not before he lists Pooch's accomplishments, and this is a problem I have with the show so far. This is the second time this episode that we've been told that Pooch's is a great cop, but nothing we've seen in the 3 minutes since the start of the show proves that he is. Show, don't tell. So far, I've seen him flirt with a dispatcher, pull a gun on some kids, and make out with a bulldog. I don't mind a character who's a bit quirky, but this show hasn't given me or whoever watched the show when it first came on anything other than showing that Pooch's is anything other than a crass, schlubby guy. Later on, after impressing his stakeout partners with his dulcet tones, he shows him one of his loves of his life, for that week anyway, and with him talking about his pension. Let me guess, he only has 2 more days until retirement, right? Eventually, a mugging occurs and his partner chases after the guy.
Hey, don't be a hero!
Isn't that a police officer's job? Pooch's is supposed to be a sympathetic character, right? You know, if a mugger gets away and jumps into a car and zooms off, maybe, just maybe you should let him go. Don't fire at the car, go talk to the mugging victim. This leads to Pooch's chasing after the perp and then getting run down because of that dang dog. And then this happens. Okay, that doesn't actually happen, he just dies. Later on, at Pooch's funeral, he meets his old partner again and...
Oh, hell no!
That dog puppet is terrible. Now, would you believe that ILM were the ones that made the puppet? I don't know what's their worst work, this or on Congo when they were making all those gorillas. Maybe Congo. Every time I pour out some cheesy pizza sauce, it reminds me of the lava from that film. The design of this dog looks like a cross of a bootleg gizmo from Gremlins and any creature from the Black Crystal. Okay, see, what had happened was Pooch's spirit was put into a bulldog and now he wants his old partner to team up with him to catch the killer. Okay. Just a couple questions before we continue. 1. Why can only the partner hear him talk? 2. What happened to the dog's spirit when Pooch's went into his body? And 3. Most importantly, What's with these lingering shots of the dog puppet? It's as if ILM and the director were proud of their work. The two decide to team up and find the killer. And what's his name tries to get the chief to put him back on the case, but he's shooed away because of shenanigans. Is it me, or does it seem like that lady was enjoying Pooch's loving a bit too much? We didn't meet Officer's what's-his-name's love interest Fran. And geez, she's thirstier than a dying man in the desert. Why hasn't what's-his-name gone after her yet? Per his conversation with Pooch's earlier, he's interested. And apparently she is too.
You and Stanley are welcome to join us for dinner. Well, it's okay. I know what it's like to lose somebody you're close to.
Okay, Robert, I guess that's his name. And Pooch's have a lover's spat, and Rob kicks the dog out only to come back a little later with thirsty Fran. Wait a minute. When Pooch's went into the elevator, he told the guy he wanted the 5th floor.
5, please.
1. How do you know what floor Fran was on? Earlier, Robert never told him. He just said that she was in the building. And 2. Can regular people hear him speak now too? I thought only Rob could do it. Ugh, my plot hole sense is tingling again. Okay, we're 15 minutes into the plot with 6:30 to go and no one has done any detecting yet. 2/3 of the show is over. There's only 6 minutes left. Get to the point already. After more shenanigans, Robert and Pooch's have a heart-to-heart talk.
What's the matter, Poochinski?
Look at me. I've become a dog. It's all sinking in now. I mean, I used to have hair on my back, but this is ridiculous. I lost a lot more. My identity, my home, my Claire.
A while later, while Pooch's is on a stakeout, they find their mugger mugging in the daytime. Really? Really? There's 2 minutes left in the program, and they decide that now is the time to kick the story to high gear? Fine. After a lackadaisical chase and a terrible fight, Pooch's is able to take down the perp with a crotch shot. A quick aside, the first dog me and my older brother had would always bite me there as well. The episode ends with Pooch's now part of the force, and we get one more shenanigan for the road.
That's it, Poochinski! When you were alive, you were an utter disgrace to mankind. A lazy, slovenly, ill-mannered whore. Now that you're a dog, the only thing that's improved is your breath! Oh, come on, Poochinski.
Alright, something positive. Let's see. It's short at just under 22 minutes. Sorry, I've got nothing. Okay. Pierre Boyle isn't bad in this. No one is really bad in this pilot. It's just that after seeing reruns of Tequila and Bonetti, this doesn't come off as being a well thought out or well paced intro to a series. I think what needed to happen is that at least the first episode should have been an hour long. If it was that, then the viewers would have some time to get to know Poochinski more before his life changed. Sometimes the comedy worked. An example would be when Pooch's explains on how he got put into a dog's body.
How did you become a dog?
All I know is I saw this big tunnel and this big shaft of light, and I heard voices at the end of it. Relatives' voices. And they were calling, here boy, come on, come on. And next thing I knew, I had a tail.
Well, I thought it was funny. Then there are times when the comedy didn't work. One example would be after he got turned into a dog and started eating grass. Earlier I mentioned that Industrial Light and Magic created the Pooch puppet, but considering how it looks, maybe they did this for a lark. John Rear was also one of the producers of the show as well as 20th Century Fox. You know, with the 20th Century Fox buyout, Disney owns some Fox TV shows. Is Poochinski one of them? If so, could a animated TV series be made of it? Just thinking, you know how stuff this pilot is? It should have been made into a movie. I'm not kidding, I think it could work. A movie plot structure would fix a number of this show's problems. Act 1. We get introduced to Stan Lee, get a hold of his personality quirks, and get to see him as a good cop, as his chief said he is.
Who caught the North Hill Strangler? Who caught the post office bomber?
Poochinski.
Don't confuse hygiene with character.
Also, during that time, you can even get to know his partner, who can even drop more hints about his future love interest, thirsty friend. And at the end of the first act, he dies and gets put into the pooch. And in Act 2, we can have him and his partner get used to him being a dog and see different wacky shenanigans. And in Act 3, we can have them track down the perp using Pooch's new dog abilities. And at the end of the film, Stanley can either pass on or stay as a dog. He'll probably get a poodle as a love interest or a shih tzu if he stays a dog though. Now, I'm not saying this would be a good film, but it would do a whole lot better job than this pilot did. After watching this, I think I can see why someone would think that this would work. Human dog movies like Turner Hooch, K9 were successful in the theaters. Plus, you had Industrial Light and Magic doing the puppet work. Prior to this pilot, their most recent work was on Back to the Future, Total Recall, Star Trek 4, Harry and the Hendersons, and so on. Unfortunately, the work that they displayed here was more on the level of Howard the Duck and Willow. In order for this to work as a pilot, it had to be structured in a different way. It had to be longer. Considering the popularity and visibility of the current crop of animal films, I could see another network dipping its toe into trying this concept again. Now, a big reason why I wanted to watch and review this show again is that I was feeling nostalgic. The last film I saw with all of my immediate family alive was Marley and Me. Since then, if there's a dog movie or an animal film, I'm gonna take some interest in it.
Request a transfer.
On what grounds?
Partner incompatibility.
What is it?
Well, it's when you don't get along with your partner, sir.
I know what it means.
This is ridiculous.